If you are someone who's trying to get rid of shame, this video is for you. I just had a client and we were doing a huge piece of work around shame. Like huge, huge piece of work around shame. And something I find a lot with people when they work with shame is this shame is one of the emotions or the feelings that we want to get rid of. We want to remove it. We want it to go away, which makes a lot of sense. By the way, I even see it in like healing circles where the facilitator says, "No shame, no guilt. We don't need to feel this here." By the way, red flag. If you go to a healing circle where the facilitator says, "No shame, run away." Red flag. Not a good idea. Because emotions are just energy in motion. Energy naturally just wants to move, including shame. When we are trying to get rid of the shame or the fear or whatever the feeling, but for the sake of this video, I'm gonna speak to shame specifically. When we're trying to get rid of it, instead of really giving it space, we're never fully integrated within us. And then it finds different ways to come back from the back door. And you can't really get rid of shame just like you can't just cut it away and get rid of it because it's still there. There's still layers that are still there. She came to the session and she's like, "Hannah, I want to get rid of this shame. I want to find the root of it and I want to get rid of it." And I was like, "Let's go on the table. Let's get to know this shame." I said, "Let's be with this shame." In the beginning, we really gave space to however she felt toward the shame. And it's funny because her mind said automatically, "I want to get rid of it." However, when she actually connected with the shame, with the feeling in her body, she felt a lot of neutrality and curiosity, which is a really good sign because we've done this work for a while. So I just want to say here, ding ding, how programmed we are to believe that shame is bad. Like we automatically thinking a lot of the times at certain emotions as good or bad. Oh, joy is good, shame is bad, fear is bad, love is good, right? And it's like it's so unspoken because no one ever talked about it. But there's like an unconscious energetic tanglement in the background that is unconscious, that it's a belief system that we believe that shame is bad. But then when she actually dropped into her body and she felt it, she felt a lot of curiosity toward it and neutrality, which is an amazing place to be because then it brings us space to really connect with the shame and create intimacy and relationship with it. So in this session, we connected with it. And there was a memory that came up for her from childhood that we were able to go into and do some inner child work and just really being with that part of her that in the beginning she felt a lot of anger toward her, but then again we gave space to the feeling of anger. We really allowed it to be here, and then it softened, and then she could have a lot of understanding for her and empathy for her and feeling the sadness of what she's feeling, which in that specific memory that came up, she didn't feel safe and she felt a lot of shame. So after really being with her in that memory and like restoring relationship between her and that version of her, that inner child version of her, so she can feel safe with her, that version of her, her inner child feels safe with her. And then, only then, first of all, just create presence, just create relationship, intimacy. And once she was there and that happened, then the next step was to give her the ability to reframe. So give her some kind of magical stone that gives her superpower to go to this person that did something to her and do to them whatever she wants, even if it's like hitting them or kicking them or whatever. Now, of course, we're not doing it in real life. This is in the visualization. This is more for her to feel, especially her inner child, to feel like she's taking her power back. From that process, we came back to the initial shame that she felt, the initial sensation that she felt in her body. And we noticed how did it feel? Maybe it shifted a little bit, maybe it changed. So she felt like, yeah, it feels way lighter and it feels more happy. And she said, "I feel like it served the purpose." That's it. Because we've been working with this in previous sessions already. It's important to say. It usually doesn't take that fast to get to this point. But she said, okay, it feels like it served this purpose after we sat with the sensation for a few sessions. And from there, we asked the sensation with a lot of love and care, are you ready to go back to where you came from? Are you ready to remember the truth of who you are, which is love? Are you ready to transmute back into love where you came from with a lot of love and care? And then it gave another piece of important information that it wanted her to know. And once it's shared that, it said, yes, I am ready. So then we brought in this energy of unconditional love. We brought it in, and she was able to really allow it to go into that sensation and then into her body, all of her body, and then into her energy field, and then this entire room, and then this entire city, and then this entire state, and then the entire United States, and then the entire Earth. And so, by the way, if you felt a certain shift, maybe that's what it was. I'm just kidding. But yeah, I mean, I'm kidding, but I'm also not really kidding, because every single time that we are doing something like that for ourselves, it is impact the entire energy field, because we're all interconnected in the energy field. So whenever she's doing something like that here, and I'm doing something like that here, just by me doing it for myself, just by me integrating shame back into love, it really, really, really sending those signals through the energy field, and it touches other people. There's so much that's happening every moment in our lives that we're not conscious of. So I wanted to come here and share this with you because I wanted to show you how shame can turn into global grid work, really. How we started the session with the shame, and by the end of the session, the entire planet was covered in golden energy of unconditional love that came from her transmutation. So yeah, I just wanted to come here and share this with you, because if you are someone who has shame and you're trying to get rid of it, I highly invite you to sit with it, to get to know it, to ask it questions, to ask it, why are you here? What do you want to teach me? What do you want to show me? Is there anything you'd like me to know? What are you trying to protect me from? And when you're building that relationship to your shame, first of all, allowing all the feelings you have toward it to fully be here, to fully give them space, and then you have room for intimacy to actually get to know the shame and to feel its vibe, feel its energy, and relate to it and create that intimacy with it. The possibility for it that is available on the other side is tremendous. This is just a small, tiny example of how we can transmute our traumas and our wounds back into love where they came from. Everything is love originally. You are love. So if you're someone who's feeling curious about this type of work, if you want it for yourself, or if you feel called to work with people and facilitate healing, transformation, and remembering for others, I'm inviting you to check the links in the description below. There's one link for a discovery call, which is if you want it for yourself for a session, and one link for a sacred interview. The interview is for you if you are someone who's feeling a draw to energy weaving, deep chakra work, or feeling the call to step into service in that way. I would love to interview you for this sacred project that I'm currently working on of birthing this technology, this modality called ROM technology. And in this process, I'm teaching you how to be able to do this with people, for yourself, with people one-on-one, in groups, and maybe even like working on the planet, doing grid work on the planet. So inviting you to check the links below. By the way, most women I interviewed received a lot of clarity from this call. So I'm just inviting you to check it out. And also let me know in the comments below, what do you feel about shame? What's your relationship to shame? What does it bring up in you? What's happening to you when you're hearing this conversation? I would love to know. So let me know in the comments. Thank you for tuning in. I will see you next time.